Shalom, shalom. I want to begin the lesson by giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Kakurash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who have taught us all this truth in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahawashi, Shakwat. And I'm back with another lesson, Lord willing, is edifying to the whole collect. Yahweh, Bahashim Yahawashi, Barakatham, to you sincere, Akyam, or Akwa. And a sincere shalom to you brothers out there pushing this truth, out there on the highways and the byways and through the YouTube blessings, man. Shalom to you all. Alright, so this is going to be a quick lesson going into whooping your child. And does that mean like you just beat the shit out your child, be a lion in your household? No. But definitely don't spare the rod if you can help it. Alright? If you can help it, don't spare the rod. Right now, not every situation needs an ass whooping with a belt or a switch off a tree or some shit like that. But there are situations where they need physical, what's the word? Physical, they need to be physically reprimanded. That's not the word, but for the lack of better words, yeah. Right, so there are situations where you have to do that. Okay, now like I said, don't be a lion in your household. Don't just be beating up on your kid because you power tripping. Don't do that. But it is biblical to whoop your child. All right, to spank your child. It's biblical. All right, so that's not going off. And that's why a lot of these damn Edomites are so unruly, because they don't spank their goddamn kids. That's the problem. Spank that motherfucking child, man. Alright, but nonetheless, let's get into the lesson, alright? So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, and verse 24. And it reads, "He that spareth his rod, alright, hateth his son." Alright, now what is a rod used for? It's used for correction. Alright, a rod is used to beat someone, but it's for correction's sake. Alright, so he that spareth his rod hateth his son. So if you spare that rod, if you spare correcting your child, disciplining them, you hate them, man. Now, like I said, every time you have to discipline your child, it doesn't have to be through whooping them. But you're going to have cases where you have no choice but to whoop them. That's the only way they'll understand. So if you spare that discipline, man, you really do hate your child. And it says, "But he that loveth him," or your daughter, "chasteneth him betimes." Just like the Lord is beating us, man. The Lord is whooping us. All right, but it's not because he hates us. It's because he loves us. He's trying to strengthen us. He's trying to purify us as gold. All right, he's trying to refine us as silver. Right? So it's all for our benefits. All right? Because I'll say, if I didn't get punished like I was getting as a child, I'd be terrible right now. And I was still terrible to an extent. And I came to the truth. And, the Wadi Yahweh Shemel Shada made everything better. So sometimes you gotta hit your child with that rod. All right? You have to. All right? And it says, Proverbs 23 and 13, same chapter? Yeah, 23 and 13, "Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die." So if you whoop your child, it's not going to die. Your son or daughter is not going to die if you whoop them. Like I said, don't just be going up there and just molly-whopping them for no reason and shit, but if you whip your child whoopings, they're not gonna die. I've gotten plenty of whoopings in my childhood, and I'm still alive today. They didn't kill me. Alright? It sucked in the moment, but it didn't kill me. Alright, so yeah, man. "Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shalt deliver his soul from hell." Now what does that mean, deliver his soul from hell? Does that mean the spiritual place where you go and burn forever? What the Christians preach, what IUIC preaches and stuff like that? Absolutely not. It's talking about a hellacious condition, a bad situation, all right, a bad life. That's what it's talking about. And it's also talking about the grave. Alright? You know, Jake has a saying, going too soon. Which ain't nobody ever dying too soon. But, you know, they say that when someone really young dies, you're sparing them from that also. Typically. You know, because they're less likely to do dumb shit. As they remember the correction that came when they thought about or did go forth with it before times. Or be time. Alright? So, thou shalt beat him with a rod and shalt deliver his soul from hell. So yes, it's a good thing to do that. Alright? Proverbs 22 and 15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. Alright? Because they don't really know anything. They're simple. They don't know nothing. Alright? They don't know nothing. They're like sponges. So a lot of folly can come from that. Because they don't know how to discern what's right and wrong yet. That's why the parent has to instill that in them. But the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. So when your child go off, they're going to naturally go off. Now in the kingdom, they're not going to go off at all. Our children at least, right? But in this kingdom, your child's going to go off. It's natural, and it's okay. They don't know nothing yet. You got to remember that. They don't know nothing in this life yet. Alright? They don't have any memories from the prior life that they lived. So there's going to be a lot of folly and foolishness, same thing, with that child in their mind. They're going to do a lot of dumb stuff. It's your job as a parent to correct them. I'm going to say this again, not every situation needs an ass whooping. Because, you know, you may ask somebody out there, see, the Bible say I could beat the shit out of my child. I'm just going to start whooping your ass. No. Don't abuse the ways of the Heavenly Father. Don't do that. But it can be a good amount of times, more often than not, where that rod is necessary. Alright? And when you use it, alright, it's going to drive foolishness far from the child. And they're going to stay away from it. Remember what the scriptures say. Teach a child that is young in the way that it may go. And when they get older, they will not stray from it. Alright, roughly paraphrasing. So yeah, instill that when they're young. So this is Proverbs 20 and 30. The blueness of a wound cleanseth away evil. So do stripes the inward parts of the belly. In the NLT, it reads, physical punishment cleanses away evil. Such discipline purifies the heart. So physical punishment, it takes evil away. It cleanses away evil. Alright? Pain is a great reminder to not do something. That's the truth. Pain is a great reminder to not do something. So, and if you discipline someone in that manner, it purifies their heart. It drives folly far from them. Okay, so, and we got Ecclesiasticus 30 here, so we're going to go here. We'll start at verse 1. He that loveth his son or daughter causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy with him in the end. So a man that really loves his son, amen, they often put that rod on him, man. They often whoop him. Often, man. So that at the end, hey, man, the son going to be a real man. You're not going to be like these YNs out here. Right? What was the first scripture that we read? He that spareth the rod from his son hateth him. But if you don't, you love him, man. That's the opposite of hate. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. Are you going and bragging on your son, because your son's doing the right things as a man, because you taught him that way through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. So you're going to find joy in your son. You're going to see you and him. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. Who's the enemy? Who's the first enemy? Esau, Edom. Of course, the rest of the heathens, but first and foremost is Esau, Edom, man, the so-called self-proclaimed white man. He's the enemy, man. He's the enemy. So if you teach your son, you honestly grieveth your enemy, which is a good thing. You're supposed to grieve your enemy. It's your enemy. And grieveth meaning you hate your enemy, man. And before his friends, he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, so say you had a father who really was on his son's ass, he chastised him, whooped him, etc. You know, he didn't spread a rod, he was correcting him all the time, making sure he kept him in check, in line. If that father then dies, well, let's see what it says. Yet he is as though he were not dead. All right? And that's one way to hate your enemy. Because it's like you leave the earth, and your enemy think it's all done, but your son, it's a carbon copy of you. That's how it's supposed to go. So you really never leave the earth. All right? Then your son has a son, and that son has a son, and then eventually you're back. Boom. You know? So, let's read that again. Though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead. Because of all that goodness and discipline he put upon his son is like him. And that's a good thing in most cases. Now, if you live the life of folly, you don't want your son to be like you, but you get what I'm saying. You get what the scripture's saying. For he hath left one behind him that is like himself. His scriptures is self-explanatory. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful. All right, why wasn't he sorrowful? Because he know he did everything right. He did all he could do to make his son a good, righteous, true man. He left behind him an avenger of his enemies, against his enemies. That's why I said, he that teaches his son grieveth the enemy, man. And one that shall requite kindness to his friends. You're supposed to treat your friends, your brothers, with kindness. He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds, and his bowels will be troubled at every cry. Alright? Meaning, don't be babying your son. Stop babying your son, man. Don't do that. Alright? When you go to a different translation, it's actually going to say, it's going to get more specific. Don't be babying your son. And that's why you gotta keep that boy away from his mama. As soon as something happens, mama, no. Yeah, watch out, man. That boy get his ass up. All right, verse 7, right here. Verse 7 in the GNT. But anyone who spoils his son will have to bandage his wounds. His heart will stop every time he hears a shout. Then he ain't gonna know how to do stuff on his own. He not gonna know how to stand 10 toes. He not gonna have no grit. If what's a man without grit, man? What is a man without grit? He's a nobody. Because the moment something goes wrong, this nigga is bugging the hell out. Man without grit is nothing, man. If you a man without grit, that means you ain't got no faith. And a faithless man, he's through. He's through, man. So don't be spoiling your son, handing everything to him. Make that motherfucker earn it, man. That's what you have to do as a man. Now, does that mean look down and frown upon nepotism? No. Nepotism is 100% great. But don't just be handing your son everything. Make sure he earned that. All right? Make sure he earned it. You gotta earn it, man. It's not like women. Men are not women. You can't get handed everything. You gotta, hey, man. Verse 8, it says, an untamed horse is going to be stubborn, and an undisciplined son is no different. So an untamed horse is stubborn, and an undisciplined son, he's no different than an untamed horse. He's gonna be stubborn. Not stubborn in a good way, stubborn in a bad way. Meaning he always gonna resort to evil ways, man, evil actions. Right? It says if you pamper your child and play with him, all right, meaning you act like you're his friend and all that shit, and you baby in him, he will be a disappointment and a source of grief, and then you're gonna die sorrowfully. It's gonna be a disappointment. You're gonna look at that little nigga and shake your head, man. Now in this kingdom, you can do everything you do. You can do everything right when it comes to raising your son, and the nigga will still be a wicked ass, bitch ass nigga. So in this kingdom, take this for face value. But in the times where this is written, the ancient world, how things were supposed to be, yeah, man. Typically, your son was off, you probably didn't do your job. In this kingdom, there ain't much you could do. This child don't even belong to you, it belongs to Esau. But, so there you go. You're gonna be a disappointment to you. It's gonna be a Mo, a YN, something. And them YNs do be Mo's. But, you know. Laugh with him now, and one day you will have to cry over him. The nigga gonna get in a situation, gonna get put to death, something. Grinding your teeth in regret. Meaning you baby him, pamper him now, act like you his little friend now, you gonna regret it. The first few years, man, you should be on his ass. Y'all become friends when he's an adult. Get on his ass, man. It's a lot of things we men in this kingdom, we don't get why our father treats us a certain way when we are coming up. Until you become a man, and it's funny because the fathers, they always say, I know my dad did. You will get it when you're older, son. You will get it. You will understand. And I fucking get it. I get it, man. I fucking understand it now. It makes sense. And now I think back on my childhood, I'd be like, damn, I would be harder on my son. I thought he was hard. When I think about it, I'll probably be harder on mine. Shit. I get it. I get it, man. And part of that reason why a son really dislikes his father's discipline and correction and the way he raises him in this kingdom is because typically the mama out here trying to baby us, man. That's the source of comfort you always run to. You women need to learn how to back the fuck off and let a man raise a man. Because 9 times out of 10, if my mother wasn't so in them situations, man, I wouldn't have disliked my father so much growing up. Now I see it, I'm like, man, I'm sorry. I get it. Don't give him freedom while he is young, so keep him in straightly. And don't overlook what he does wrong. So don't be giving him hella chance. No. Get on his ass the first time, man. All right? Whip him while he is still a child. Because there's only so much you can do when that boy becomes an adolescent. There's only so much you can do at that point. All right, they're beyond indoctrination by that point. And make him respect your authority. Make him. It didn't say, hey, son, can you please? No. Make that motherfucker respect your authority, man. All this soft stuff, man. Esau rode that soft life. He lives in that soft life. That's not how we are as a nation of men. We raise warriors, man. Warriors. That's the point. Whip him while he is still a child and make him respect your authority. If you don't, he will be stubborn and disobedient and cause you nothing but sorrow. And that's the truth, man. I've seen it happen time and time again in my upbringing, looking at certain friends of the world. I'd be like, God damn, boy, you a bitch. That's all I could think about sometimes. like, shit, this nigga is a fucking bitch. Anyway. So discipline your son and give him work to do. Give him work to do. So all that fucking raking at the wee woo hours of the fucking morning, having to do all that bullshit ass labor some work. Hey bro, it's all a part of the process, man. So discipline your son and give him work to do, or else he will be an embarrassment to you. An embarrassment, man. So there you go. That's why you should not spare the rod from your child. Do not spare discipline from your child. Alright? So anyway, I hope this was edifying to you all out there and exhorting. I want to close by giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught us all this truth in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi. And until next time, Abba Bo, Kwam Yasharella, Gadol, Abadiyam, Lababa, Gadol, Yahweh Mahar, Wa Ahabatham. And until next time, I would like to say unto you all, Shalom.